Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Josephine Koh here. Today I'm doing something different for you from my usual lessons that I have posted earlier. Instead, I'm doing a blog of my day. Today is a Saturday and I have actually taught a number of students in a day, and there were particular things which I thought I have picked up and I would like to share with you. So looking at it, I shall like to mention about the two pieces that I would like to talk about. Firstly, slow movements of classical sonatas. So I have two students who had lesson today. Well, of course, due to the coronavirus, COVID-19 in Singapore over this period, so none of the students can come for face-to-face lessons. So what we are doing is actually Zoom lessons. But for me, I do not particularly like the quality of the sound on online learning. So what I usually do is the students are required to send in their recordings of their pieces which they have practiced in the week just about a day or two before the actual lesson, and I shall view them. And after viewing, I usually record a lesson which is kind of short, but it's like discussing with them what should be done and how they should practice, and then they go ahead and work on that, and then when the lesson comes in 2 days time, they are more prepared. And due to the sound system, I would actually work with them more on technical things, and that has been extremely successful with most students, because when they get into the Zoom lesson, it is formally on how they should work with their hands or certain particular things that I would require. To carry on with that, I shall like to discuss one piece which is Opus 2, number 2 of Beethoven's Piano Sonata in A major, the second and third movements. It started with the student who has finished her associate diploma, and she has already passed it, and now she's moving on to the second level diploma. She has played Mozart but not Beethoven, so I've decided to actually do this for you. We are talking about the second movement, which is Largo Appassionato. It means slow and broad and with passion. It is in 3/4 time, with Beethoven composing this in the first period of his life, and this was actually published in the year 1796. And he was a student of Haydn. So there are many elements of sonata writing style in this, but also his personal elements, which are interesting. So this goes like this. These are the first 8 bars, and you can notice that there's the bass line that goes. And so on. So this is what we do with staccato sempre. However, we don't have like something like a very hard staccato, but rather on to bar 4. It has a line that went this and repeat this again. It happens that with the forzando we just give a little pressure instead of harsh tone, and then legato for this melody. It's 4-part writing, but we have to bring out the highest voice, the top voice. Continues with the next 4 bars in A major as a kind of an episode into the theme again. So here it goes. So Beethoven's part writing is interesting because it starts with this melody, and then the left hand takes over, and then the right hand comes back in the next bar. they are not the notes that are difficult. The difficulty is possibly in the balance and in the touch. So in the advanced level, when we deal with the students or we teach the students, the control is important. All right, the touch for the F sharp, for the tenuto notes. Moving on to bar 16, something different comes along with the melody. The termination into D major 5/1 cadence with a nice close. What we notice here are the octaves. And of course that ornament. So the octaves have to be played legato, which we will use the change of fingers in the left hand 5/4. And then the music changes to B minor. So we got to express the content of Beethoven from D major, which is a brighter key, into its relative minor, B minor. And the style also changes. Into another new section. I would like to call this somewhat of an episodical form. Yes, there's a recurrent theme, but the theme is changed each time it appears as well. And then there are these episodes that contrast with the main theme. But what is possibly difficult and to be taught to the student, the rising note has to be expressed, especially so in the second bar, or bar 20 and 21. And the top voice, which modulates to F sharp minor. Well, let me take it now from bar 23. So the melody goes to the left hand. At bar 23, right, it would be better to take those passages with the right hand. And so we go into another new idea. Difficulty here, and possibly to be noted to the student, is the balance is important to be maintained with all the other parts rather soft. All these chords softly accompanying. So we can see the style of Beethoven here, his expression, bringing upon that passion from bar 28 to bar 31, where he goes with the diminished 7 chord here, and then growing into a dominant 7 into E minor, and then it swells to a double F, and he brings back the original theme. And back to the theme again. The difference now is that there's a sforzando there. Well, for the forte, we should just expand the sound so that we arrive here. And then the diminuendo is immediate. And this becomes a sweet melody in 2-part counterpoint. Bass. And into 3 parts. returns. But now it's changed. The dynamics became double F, much more chordal in texture. I could feel and see how Beethoven approaches his second movement. The depth of these D minor chords are to be played strongly but not harsh. These are forzando chords, so they have to be placed. So there can be a slight poco ritardando there. And here the dynamics is PP. So again, the control, pianistic control, is necessary for the uppermost voice. And so into the last return of the theme, we have this change figure. So what we have is a multi-tier texture. An F sharp over there and the melody in the bass and the inner part. So there we go with this chord. And D. Although it is not written in the score, of course, but when we have an inner melody that goes like this, it is necessary to have that melodic shape before it reaches this. The low register in the fifth finger, there needs to be a little bit of pressure into the notes. This is the coda, melody line. So we can see in the simplicity of D major with some modulations and the same theme being used, Beethoven varied his ideas and gave a lot of different lines to the upper parts, to the lower parts, imitation, and making the movement really interesting. So I hope you like my presentation of this Beethoven. I shall now discuss the other student who played Mozart Sonata in D major and the second movement being in A major, Sonata K577.